Sure, sir.
So, good morning, everybody. Today, that is May 26th, Wednesday, 2021. We are here again for another class of human resource management. And the topic that we are going to discuss today is the benefit of training to the organization. Right. So, let's get into it. The benefits of the training to the organization may be as under it is a systematic learning. First benefit is systematic learning, right? If we talk about training, it is a systematic training program which helps in reducing the time that a person is taking in order to learn, right? Because it makes them learn systematically along with the right methods of learning, right? So training program, with the help of training programs, your workers can learn quickly, and thus the time required in learning will get reduced, right? Employees will not run by employee need not to learn by hit and trial method and make wastage. Rather, with these training programs, the employee can learn these skills in the right manner and can perform their job effectively. Moreover, they can learn in a shorter period of time. Right. The second benefit is better performance. Trained employee is usually performing better and productively. High quality of performance will be there as compared to an untrained employee. So a trained employee will always perform better as compared to an untrained one. Right. Increase in skill results in quality. Increase in skill result in increase in quality of output and quality of productivity. He will be producing more output in comparatively larger degree of quantity, and the quality of his productivity will also be better after getting the training, right? The third benefit is recruitment through promotion, right? When such a cases, there new skills are required in an employee, so it will be difficult for the organization to find an employee with such new skills, right? From outside the organization, or finding a new employee with certain specific skills sometimes becomes difficult for the organization. In such a case, training can be used in equipping the existing employees with those skills that you need to have within an employee who you are looking for in recruitment, right? So thus it is a better option to select the employees within the organization and train them with those skills that you require to have at that point of time, rather than selecting somebody from outside the organization, right? Fourth benefit is better utilization of machines and materials, right? Machines and materials can be handled economically and without any wastage if the employees are properly trained. They will not be following the hit and trial method. Rather, they will be trained in the methods of using the machinery and equipment, which will avoid their breakage, leakage, and spoilage, and also the wastage of raw material. Right? It leads to reduction in cost of production. The cost of production will go down. Why it will go down? Because the wear and tear of the plant and machinery and the wastage of material will be minimum, right? Further, fifth benefit is economic benefits, economic supervision. When employees are given proper training, the responsibility of supervisor will get decreased, right? Training is not eliminating the supervision, but training is decreasing the degree of supervision, right? It reduces the need for continuous and close supervision, because this you know how to perform your work well, right? So the responsibility of supervisor will be diluted here, and you will not be required to supervise closely, right? Because the employee is properly trained, he can be able to perform his work well with a mild or moderate level of supervision. Sixth benefit is uniform procedures. Right, training is very much helpful in teaching the workers the best methods of performing the work in an standardized manner. Right, standardization makes performance at high level. Right, standardization of performance means setting these standard operating procedures, SOPs, and performing accordingly. Now, next is your reduction in accident. If the workers are properly trained in using the machines and they are taught about various safety measures, the number of accidents will definitely be fall considerably, because they will be knowing the right methods of handling the machinery, and they will be knowing the right safety, they will be knowing the safety measures that they should be using while working at the factory workshop, or by working in the assembly line, or by working in the plant, and they will be following all the safety and security guidelines. So moreover, they will be handling the machinery properly, so the chances of accidents for each and every worker will get decreased. Right, next benefit is your high morale. Right, training makes the employee to learn all different skills, thus employees are motivated to work. This reduce their absenteeism, labor turnover, and grievances among the employees, because they know how to perform their work well, and there will be no complaints of supervisors against their workers, because after receiving training they will be performing well. Right, it increases the morale of the workers and motivates them to give high level of productivity. Next, ninth, better climate. Right, positive reactions results in training. Positive reactions of the employees is a result of training. Right, which helps in generating a better climate. Right, employee will be performing employee will be giving higher level of productivity, employee will be better using the resources better, and this will be creating a good and organizational climate, because wastage and wear and tear of machinery will be minimized, and thus as a result of which the profits will get increased. Right, certain financial incentives, promotions, less conflicts, these kind of things will come into picture when a good organizational climate develops. Right, now benefits of training to the employees, how training is beneficial to the employees. These were the benefits of training to the organization. Now the benefits of training to the employees. Right, training is useful for both organization and employees. That is the reason it is benefiting both the organization and employees. But how training is benefiting from the employee, we will be finding it out. The first point is increased skill and knowledge. Employees acquire new skills and knowledge through training, which improves their career and productivity. Second point, higher productivity. The productivity of the workers after training will get increased, because because of this they will be earning higher wages and bonus, because they will be performing more as compared to before. The third point is opportunities for promotion. When the workers have sharpened their skills during training, it helps them to aspire for promotions for higher jobs in the organization. Right, fourth is your increased mobility. Right, for trained employees it is very easy to shift from one job to another and from one organization to another, in order to advance their career and earn higher level of wages. Right, fifth benefit, high morale. Trained morals usually have are having in-depth knowledge of their job, because they are trained in that. Because of this, they are knowing their job well and have greater amount of job satisfaction. It ultimately increases their morale and keeps them motivated. Right, next, less accidents, right? Trained workers are less prone to accidents because they know how to handle the machinery and material. They also are aware about the different safety measures and devices that they should be using while they are at work in the factory, right? So this is all about the benefits of training to the employees, right? Now, coming down to the next topic, it is designing a training program, right? Let's start with designing a training program. How to design a training program? What points should be considered while designing a training program, right? Now let's get into it. Any training program is an integral part of human resource management, right? Training program is an integral part of human resource management. It is a major function of human resource management, so training cannot be separated from human resource management. A training program, it consists of certain interrelated steps. The first step is identification of training needs, right? It is very much necessary to identify the training needs of the employees, that what are the training needs, right? What are those areas in which the employee need to have training, or what are those areas which need to be improved? Only in those areas the employee need to have training. The second point, setting training objectives. What should be the objective of the training programs? Okay, what should be those objectives which we will be achieving with the help of the training program that we are going to formulate? The third is organization of training, how the training will be organized, right? How the training program will be organized. This has to be decided. Fourth is your evaluation of training outcomes or result. How will you be evaluating the outcome or result of the training on the employees? Fourth, right? First is identification of training and development needs, right? So let's get into it and discuss it in detail. Training and development needs can be identified with the help of the following points, right? First, underperformance by subordinates. Okay, evidence by low output, bad decisions, right? Underperformance by subordinates, evidence by low output, lack of initiative, bad decisions, or general incompetency, etc. Okay. Next, acquisition of new and unfamiliar equipments, or introduction of unfamiliar or new work methods, right? Third, pursuit of subordinates job description to identify gaps between what they are doing and what they should be doing, right? Fourth, analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of the organization, right? So these are the 4 points on the basis of which we can understand the training needs of the employee, right? All these are very important, and these are the only points on the basis of which we can analyze, we can assess the, or we can identify the training needs of the employees, and we made design a training program accordingly, right? Training is useful in improving the employees, but it should be imparted carefully. It has to be related to the needs of organization and to the needs of individuals as well, right? It should be organizational oriented as well as it should be individual oriented, right? Like diversification of product line, new type of skills are needed because individual employees develop through induction and different methods of training like job oriented training, etc., right? So diversification needs the employee to be trained in different skills, particularly because when you are diversifying, you will be utilizing your existing employees also. Moreover, you will be hiring employee outside, but definitely you have to use your existing employee in your whenever you are going for diversification, at least at the initial level, right? And you should be utilizing those employees at which you can utilize at least by training them, so that they may acquire the skills and they may be proved to be useful in that diversification strategy, right? Now there are three types of analysis for identifying the training needs, right? There are three different kinds of analysis that can be useful, right? Three type of analysis are there. Oh, right. For training needs identification, three types of analysis are useful, right? What are these? Let us understand. First is your organizational analysis. Second is your task analysis, right? Third is your human resource analysis. Organizational analysis, task analysis, and human resource analysis, right? These are the three analysis which are very much helpful in understanding the training needs of the employees, right? Now organizational analysis. Let's understand what is the organizational analysis. Organizational analysis is a systematic effort in order to identify and understand what type of training should be given to the employee, or what type of training is required by the employees in the organization. It involves complete analysis of the organization structure, objectives, human resources, and future plans of the organization, so that the training program may be arranged accordingly, right? Here the first step in organizational analysis is to achieve a clear understanding of short term and long term objectives of the enterprise, right? Once you are able to understand the short term and long term objectives of the enterprise, you can draft the training program accordingly, right? Here the management have to examine what should be the specific training inputs that should be imparted to the employees, and which are necessary for the attainment of these objectives, right? Now in case of organizational analysis, there are three essential requirements. What are these three essential requirements? First is your whether the personal performance is up to the required standards, whether your existing human resource are performing up to the mark, or they are performing down the mark, right? Whether their actual performance is equal to the standard performance or not. The second point, whether the organizational environment and different departments are conducive to fulfillment of tasks, right? Whether the organizational environment and different departments is conducive to fulfillment of the task, whether the organizational environment and different departments, whether the organizational environment is such that it is conducive for different departments to fulfill their task, right? Meaning hereby, are you providing the right kind of organizational environment to the people who are working in your organization in different departments, that they are finding it conducive and they may be able to perform their task easily or not, right? Third, whether adequate number of personnels are available to ensure the fulfillment of the organizational goals, right? Whether you have employed the right number of personnel in the organization, or there is shortage of manpower, or you have employed surplus manpower, right? This again you have to find it out. So these are the three things that you need to analyze. These are the three things you need to find it out, right? Now, for the organizational analysis, further, further for the organizational analysis, एक सेकंड, दूसरी आ गई शायद, राइट। Next is your task analysis. It was organizational analysis. Now the second thing in training need assessment is the task analysis. Right. Now let's see task analysis. Here in task analysis, the focus is on the job or task that one has to perform. Right. Task analysis is the analysis of the job and conditions and training and skills required to perform the job according to the predetermined performance standards. What are the skills and what are the competencies that are needed in perform that particular task in that particular manner which is desired, right? Here the standards of performance have to be set for each job so that the employees should be performed according to those standards and according to that level of quality, right? The methods and the components of the job should be properly designed, right? The objective of task analysis is to obtain all possible information about the nature of the task, components and standards of performance, etc. Right. This information will be useful in designing the training program so that the employees may be imparted with the required skills according to their training needs. Right. In order to collect the relevant information, questionnaires, personal records, interviews, observations, and other methods should be used. Right. Third is your human resource analysis. It was task analysis, now human resource analysis, right? The entire HR environment of the organization should be carefully analyzed while determining the training needs, right? There are three major aspects: the internal environment of the organization, the environment of the sector of economic activity, that is government, public sector or private sector, and the environment of the economy which influence the training needs of manpower in the organization, right? If organization have a skill inventory register, that is a detailed record of the skill inventory of the employee that we have discussed in HRP, it should be analyzed properly and draw training program depending upon the projections that they are having for the future, right? Now certain specific training and development needs should be determined, and these specific training and training needs can be determined with the help of understanding these points. First point is your specific areas where individuals need training, right? You have to identify those areas particularly from your human resource where they need to have training, right? B is your capacity of the present workforce to learn new skills and behavior. What is the capacity of your existing workforce to learn new skills and behavior? The third point is your time which is required or time frame in which the training should be given. What is the time which is allocated by the organization to impart training to its workers, right? Now fourth is job designing and redesigning, introduction of new work methods and technologies, right? What job designing and job redesigning you have to do, right? What new technology you have introduced, what new work methods you have introduced in your organization, all these are necessary to be understand in depth so that you may be able to draft a right training program for your employees, right? Now coming down to the second step, it is the setting training objectives to determine the objectives of the training, right? Once you have identified the training needs, the next step is to set the objectives of the training program, right? In order to decide the methods to achieve these objectives, right? The aim of any training program is to increase the effectiveness of the organization, right? The main aim of any training programs is to increase the overall effectiveness of the organization, right? Each and every training program should be having specific objectives such as increased productivity, improved quality, better human resource planning, better health and safety, prevention of obsolescence, and chances for personal growth, right? These objectives always contribute to the organizational effectiveness and will enhance and will be taking the organizational effectiveness to a greater degree, to a higher degree, right? Now, specific objectives of training. What should be the specific objectives of training, right? First is the increased productivity is the overall purpose of the training. Obviously, the main and the foremost purpose that every training program is aimed at is the increase in the overall productivity of the employee, right? Improved quality. The quality of work should be improved, right? Better human resource planning. Human resource planning should be done in such a manner that it should not fail at any point of time. Higher morale. The morale of the employees should always remain at the higher degree, and you should always be able to boost the morale of your employees or workers for higher level of performance, right? Better health and safety, increased organizational effectiveness. Health and safety measures should be employees should be made understood about the health and safety measures, and they should be trained how to use them and should be able to use them properly in order to increase the organizational effectiveness. Because if proper health and safety measures are utilized, then employees health will be protected. Moreover, accidents will be comparatively lesser in number. Employees workers will be less prone to accident, and industrial peace will be established. The work will go on in an easy manner in your organization, and there will be no problem, right? Now, the third point is organization of training program, right? The third step is organization of training program. So let's understand it also. Training is an important and complex task which cannot be performed by a single department. The responsibility of training is shared among number one, the top managers who should formulate and authorize the basic training policies in the organization, review and approve the training programs, and review and approve the training program from time to time, and approve the budget for the training program, because budget is most important. Without budget, nothing can be done, right? Second point, the human HR manager should plan, establish the training programs, because human resource manager is having deeper understanding of the human resource in the organization. The third point, the line managers are very plays an important role in implementing the training program, because they know very closely all the workers who are employed under them, and it is the line manager who is providing data and information to the HR manager, and it is the HR manager who is providing the data and information to the top management in order to formulate the training programs, right? D is your employees who should provide feedback and suggestions for training programs, right? There are certain employees who also ask for training programs from time to time. There are certain performers, good performers, performing employees who ask for training program from time to time, right? Depending upon the needs and requirements. So these are the four parties, these are the four different parties who can play an important role in contribute in providing input for the training programs, right? Now, each and every training program include trainings, trainers, training period, and training material, right? All these components are discussed as under, right? First is your shortlisting of the trainings, right? Proper choice of trainees is very important in case of training programs, right? So whenever you need to whenever you are devising a training program, you need to have trainees, and for in order to obtain the trainees, you need to shortlist the trainees, right? You can not you cannot put all the employees of your organization into the training program. Rather, you need to shortlist the trainees that should be undergoing that training program, right? A trainee should be trained for the kind of job that he likes, right? Trainees should be trained in that job only which he like to work, and he is fit for that job. He is physically and mentally fit to perform that job. So any person should be trained only in that job which he like to perform, and he is physically and mentally fit to perform that particular job, right? Here training is closely related to the selection of personals, right? Careful screening of the candidate should be done for the training, because if candidates are not carefully scanned for the purpose of training, the training will be a useless exercise for them. So only those people should be put on training who are interested in getting training in that particular respect, right? Now in case of supervisory training, it in case of supervisory training, it is advisable to include all supervisors and other employees which are aspiring for promotions to such posts. In case of supervisory training, you should be training all the supervisors, including the workers who are aspiring for promotion to the post of supervisors, right? Excluding those employees on the basis that they do not need training, or that they are already doing their work training, right? Whom you are excluding here, you will be excluding those who have already received training, or who have already undergone training program, particularly in this respect, or those employees or those supervisors who are performing their job above the standard level of performance, right? Sometimes outstanding persons also get benefited, and it is not questionable. Even who people who are giving outstanding performance on their job, they are also getting benefited by the training programs, because they also get an opportunity to learn lot many things, right? Now next is preparing the instructors or the trainers. Okay, preparing the instructor or trainer, this is the second point. Preparing the instructor and trainer, right? The instructor or trainer is the main figure in the training program, right? Because instructor is the person who is imparting training to the candidates. His contribution is the greatest, right? The instructor may be within the organization, he may be outside the organization, right? You may have hired an external expert, or you may hired you are having an internal expert in order to train your employee, right? Trainer needs certain clarification. Besides knowing how to do the work, he should be able to divide the job into logical parts, so that he may be able to take up one part of the job at a time without losing his perspective on the whole job, right? Trainer divide the entire job